For some, the rural way of life offers more space and an escape from the big city. 35-year-old Ryan Scott finds the perfect place to live and run his antiques business in Oglesby, Illinois.
It was everything that I had been looking for. It had the big barn sitting on it with the house. So I was selling my stuff out of the barn.
However, the property is sold to a new family, and according to Ryan, the new owner chooses not to extend the lease as they want to convert the home into a vacation house. With little time to move out, Ryan alleges the new landlord starts to make things difficult for him.
Can I help you? You look like you're walking in my yard down to the house.
Your yard?
Ryan claims he can't move out before the 6 weeks given by the landlord and ends up overstaying his lease. According to the new property owner, Ryan doesn't pay his rent, and an eviction notice is filed with the court.
I spent 6 months getting all that stuff there, getting established. There was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to move out in such a short period of time.
Ryan alleges that he feels pressured to leave the property sooner. And one day, the landlord's oldest son gets confrontational, so Ryan starts documenting it.
Did you miss me, Cupcake?
Not really.
What's up, bitch?
Nothing much, man.
No?
Immediately, I know that things are just about to go south. And it's like, okay, now I have to deal with this guy.
When you get the out?
I'm trying.
Yeah?
I really am.
Quick enough. I want you out, buddy.
Soon after, the son is joined by his brother and their father, the landlord.
That's what we're doing.
Dad, I'm having a conversation. I'm a grown man. Leave me alone.
Here's the deal. Be a man. Be a man about the
You get out by the court date, and everything's done.
While the landlord gives Ryan 6 weeks to vacate before the eviction hearing in court, his oldest son suggests a fist fight might settle things sooner.
You get out. No, Dad, let me, just 1 second. Hey, I promise you, I've never in my life jumped anyone. I wouldn't do that. You give me 5 minutes of sparring, and we won't
That's
come
not
back.
what I'm talking about. That's not reasonable.
5 minutes one-on-one, me and you, to have a little sparring session.
Bro.
I'm not gonna kill you. I'm just gonna you up.
You don't want to.
1 minute.
Come on, let's go.
1 minute.
As soon as I hear that, my heart starts to race.
Horrified, Ryan tries to back away in fear as the son's anger intensifies.
Please be confrontational with me. Please.
Ryan, you need to step
Shut
back.
the f up. Suck my dude. I'll do what the I want. You gonna stop me? No, you're not.
I'm not.
What?
I'm not. Stop.
What?
Please step away.
Stop what? I didn't touching you.
I don't.
Step away from what?
You're in my
What?
space.
I'm in your what? I'm in your what? I'm walking. I'm having a nice leisurely stroll, you coward. Call the cops. Lock the door.
It's that feeling on the inside, that tightness in your stomach, where you know that you may be in danger here.
Make sure you lock the door.
Please leave me alone.
Call the cops. Lock the door.
Ryan retreats back to his house, while the landlord and his sons continue to shout before driving away.
Finally caught up to you, the system. They're gonna catch up to you, buddy.
Ryan claims he starts to pack his belongings and tries to get out as quickly as possible. However, a week later, Ryan tells the police an altercation occurs and shots are fired.
I came back from my friend's house. I pull in the driveway and I realize that the house is completely open. I put the car in reverse and I get about halfway through the circle drive, and the eldest son, he opens fire and fires 3 rounds through my vehicle. My leg is bleeding profusely and my clothes are soaked in blood, and now it starts to hurt. And now I realize, oh, I've been shot.
Astonishingly, Ryan manages to drive himself to the hospital where medics treat his gunshot wounds. And they have good news.
So I get to the hospital, doctor looks at the bullet wound, and they say, there's an exit wound, so it came out, we don't have to do surgery. I'm about the luckiest on the planet right now.
It's unclear what provokes the altercation. The police arrest the oldest son, 39-year-old Thomas J. Reynolds. He's charged with aggravated battery and discharge of a firearm and is released on a $10,000 bond. Reynolds pleads not guilty to the charges and is awaiting trial. Ryan moves his antiques out of the house before the court hearing for the eviction and moves in with his friend until he can find a new place.
In the next neighborhood that I seek out and choose to live, I will do my due diligence and find a neighbor that treats people with respect.
When it comes to property, size matters.
Get off my property, ma'am.
And nobody likes hearing that a part of their land might belong to their neighbor. Like this woman, whose neighbor has laid out a rope to show what he claims is the official property line between their 2 houses.
I have the surveyed. You're trespassing.
Not so, says the woman. This is her side of the grass.
Show me the survey.
I have the permits. I have the permits right here for everything. It's right here. It's right here, ma'am. Okay, quit pulling up my property, ma'am. Come here. Come on. I'll show you the permits. I have permits, ma'am.
Yeah.
You're not moving this because it's not your property.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I just did.
She's trespassing. This is my surveyed line that I have put up.
I trespass.
And she is tearing
I'm
it up.
on my own side.
Just like this one, boundary disputes can last for years, but they can be resolved. Contacting local municipalities, such as your town's tax office, is a great way to order a legal, accurate property survey.
I don't know if she's got reinforcements with a baby.
I don't have a baby.
But beware, an official survey usually means a winner and a loser.
I'm showing her the permit.
Well, I want to see the survey.
I'm
not
showing her the
permit.
permit. The survey is included in this permit. I had to get it. I had to get it. She is
said
not
you wanted to show me
on my
the
property
show
now.
me.
I don't feel safe. She is threatening me. Please get off my property, ma'am.
I'm off.
According to a national survey, property line disputes are actually the 5th leading cause of issues between neighbors in the United States.
I feel threatened.
Feel threatened.
Get off my property, ma'am.
I
Please.
am off your property.
When a city representative was finally able to settle this dispute, the woman found that her plot was actually smaller than she thought it was.
I do not need a permit. I'll take the trees down.
I don't feel safe. She is threatening me.
The two have not spoken since. Forney is an up-and-coming neighborhood in Dallas, Texas, known as a safe place to raise children. So at first, mom, Carissa Nash, is not surprised to see a 9-year-old kid from her daughter's class on their security camera. Until suddenly, Carissa's daughter and the boy had a falling out at school earlier that day. Now shocked that he is thrashing her door with a whip, this mom lays down the law.
Little boy, you better get your ass from off my porch beating on my door like this. I will call the police. You need to leave. Don't you ever beat on my door like that. Go. Okay.
After the boy leaves, the mom claims he scratches the family's car with a whip. So later, she and her husband go across the street to confront the child's parents.
Your dad's here. I just seen him. I need to talk to him. Your son beat on mine. I need to talk about these damages to my car. Your son, let me show you the video. If you come outside and talk like an adult, then maybe we can figure it out. I need to show you the video of your son hitting our door with this wheel and hitting our car. Sir. You want to see this video? Have you seen it?
My son never touched your car.
We have
a video that he touched your car?
the neighbor does across the street.
We have it on video.
All right, get off my property. Seriously, get off my property.
Well, I tell you.
Because you ain't coming over here talking nicely. You're accusing my son.
I'm showing you the video.
We're showing you the video.
The door. You ain't showing me the video of me scratching your car. Get off my plan.
Now, the boy's dad is taking issue that the other dad is standing on his grapevine, and things are getting heated.
No, that's my grapevine.
All right, man.
Okay, thank you.
You owe me a plant if
I don't owe you. I bet you want to bring your
Can you please stop, sir? All we want to do is just talk to you civil.
Your son came over.
Y'all are so violent.
Your son came over here.
Baby, please,
Your
no.
son came over here with a whip.
And then, the mom notices something that alarms her.
You have a gun.
Bring your ass outside without the gun then, bitch.
I've already come out before.
Come on, let's do it. No, baby. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
As the neighbor picks up the gun, he accidentally discharges it while his daughter stands close behind him in the doorway. Luckily, the bullet doesn't hit anyone.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
The couple goes home, but later, when the county sheriff's office see the videos, they charge the neighbor with deadly conduct for careless handling of a weapon. And shortly afterwards, he and his family move out of the area. As for the son, he's too young to face charges. However, let's hope he learns how to be a better neighbor in his new neighborhood. When it comes to working on your home, they say there's no such thing as an easy renovation project. Things can go wrong for any number of reasons. As this yard work crew in Florida is learning, the last thing you want to get in your way is an angry neighbor. The crew's boss drives to the job site to get to the bottom of the confrontation.
My workers are doing a French drain and water sip. My guys ran into a problem with a neighbor. She's saying that they're staring at her window, she's cussing them out, and basically going bat crazy. From what I hear, it's pretty bad,
Here we go. Oh, there's the guys right there. Let's go see.
Hi. So what seems to be the problem? What seems to be the problem is I want to go out in my backyard, and if you want to come look and see that it's a direct.
Okay, what is it?
So these guys were down by the bushes. One guy was, and he was just laying there staring at my yard. I want to go lay out in a bikini, so I take pictures. I don't necessarily want someone laying down on the job, staring at my backyard on his phone, just lazy ass playing. Okay? No, I'm talking.
Let her talk a minute.
So then I come out, and do you see all of this dirt under these things? All of it.
Yeah.
It was all up my property, all the way down.
Okay.
That's not acceptable to me. Okay. I don't want that trash here. I didn't do this, and they better stay on her property because she's hiring the job. Okay. So. Correct, because I came out and bitched them out. Okay. That's why they did it. They finally got their lazy asses up and did it.
You don't need to disrespect.
I can say whatever I want.
Listen, Becca.
Get your hand out of my face.
No,
Really?
stop it.
I will
Stop
do
it.
it.
Stop it.
Bitch, call the police.
You can.
Stop.
You want
Let me
to
talk to you.
Get me.
Hey,
I'll call the police. I can say in any tone, in any manner, this is America. I'm white. Okay?
Even with the cameras recording, this woman has no qualms about invoking vile racial rhetoric.
I'm white.
Okay?
Okay?
Wow.
You didn't live born here.
Oh, my Lord.
What is your point, and what are you trying
My
to say?
point is just she's being a bitch, so I'm gonna be one
I'm not
back.
being a bitch, man.
First of all,
Don't, okay, not one piece of her dirt, nothing is going to step on this property line.
I'm going to tell you how it's going to happen.
You don't tell me
I'm going to do it.
anything.
Unless you want to call the police, I'm going to do it. I'm going to finish my job. If I step on your side in action, I step on your side in action.
Now, a Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy has arrived on the scene.
Ma'am, this is Sheriff's Office. Open the door, please. No, ma'am, we just want to talk to you about threatening your neighbor's workers, that's all. Okay. Once again, they were never inside your fence.
The deputy is able to calm the irate woman down, enough for the workers to finish laying the drain, and no charges are filed. But at least this nasty neighbor's true colors have been exposed. Kennewick, Washington. It's the last day of school before the summer break, and 15-year-old swim team champion Alonzo Smith is walking his usual route home. Suddenly, a neighbor comes out of his house and starts yelling at him.
Our grass. I don't mean to, it's just the lawn's like closed.
If you do not stay off of our property, I'm gonna come out here and kick your ass.
Alonzo is bearing the brunt of this neighbor's anger as construction has closed the sidewalk, forcing pedestrians to either dodge cars in the street or walk on this man's lawn.
Stay off of our property. Stay on the street.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna go call the cops, and they're gonna come out here and stand and watch, okay?
Okay.
You come out.
Get the out of here. Get the out of here before I kick your ass.
This is not the first time that Alonzo has walked across the lawn, and the neighbor is at his limits.
Get the out of here now! How many times have I told you not to walk on my property?
Like 4 times.
Why do you do it?
Because the sidewalk's
Because you're stupid. Step on my property again and I'll beat the out of you.
Stunned by the physical threats, Alonzo lets out a nervous giggle.
You think it's funny?
No, I don't.
Obviously, you do.
I don't think it's funny. I think you're kind of overreacting.
No! I don't come walk on your property. Don't walk on my property.
To be continued.
When Alonzo's mom sees the video, she shows it to the police, but no charges are pressed as Alonzo is technically trespassing on the neighbor's property. Shortly afterwards, the angry neighbor moves to Texas. The construction in the street is finished, so next year, Alonzo doesn't have to learn the law of the lawn.
Get the out of here now!
When most people think of New York, they think of the Big Apple. But upstate New York is filled with welcoming and picturesque neighborhoods, which is exactly why homeowner Chris Dorenzo is raising his family there.
We were really drawn
to this neighborhood, where I grew up, knowing that it's a very quiet, family-friendly neighborhood.
Chris and his wife purchase a home in the town of Lyons. And before they can even bring in their first moving box, they're introduced to the neighborhood busybody who lives right next door.
The day that we did close on the home and got the keys, we were out front and she came out of her front door and said, "Hi, I'm the new neighbor. Your lawn really needs to be mowed."
One morning, as the fall turns to winter, they look outside and see something new attached with zip ties directly to their house, a snow fence.
So a snow fence typically help prevent the snow from blowing over the road or over your driveway. It is very uncommon to find a snow fence in a residential backyard, such as this.
Chris and his wife decide they don't want their neighbor's apparatus on their property when she's never asked permission in the first place. They remove the fence from their house and take videos of themselves doing so to post on social media. But after taking the fence down themselves, the neighbor puts it back up while she thinks nobody's watching. Once she's done with the fence, she installs motion sensors in her house, pointed towards the Dorenzos to deter them from touching her precious fence.
After the neighbor had put 2 motion sensors in her window facing our home and the snow fence, we decided to take googly eyes and draw little faces all over the window that faces her house right next to the snow fence and just write, "We are watching you."
But the neighbor doesn't have a sense of humor about the matter. And while Chris is at work, she finds another way to once again put the fence back up.
She then proceeded to take several pieces of trash, like a garbage can, a bench, a block, and take those items and pile them against our house, pinning the snow fence between our house and those items. And my wife woke up and saw it and basically decided, "I've had enough, I'm done."
Not wanting their neighbor's apparatus on their property, Chris and his wife take it upon themselves to remove it. Infuriated by her fence being taken down a second time, according to Chris, their neighbor puts the fence up once more, then makes an unexpected call.
So instead of having a civil conversation, she decided that calling the state police would be a better avenue.
So you guys are the ones having issues with the neighbor? And
Yeah, her snow fence is on our property, and she continues to pile her stuff up against our house.
Like against the gutters.
Let's compare a map.
When the New York State Troopers came, we had a map of the property line handy in our hand. I brought it out with me, so they could see exactly where the property line was.
We're gonna settle this right now. We got a tape measure. We're gonna compare maps.
That's not the property line.
Right.
We own
Stop. You're not gonna argue with her over here. Do you understand?
Yep.
You won't speak to each other while I'm here.
Okay.
Understand?
Despite the heated words between both sides, the troopers attempt to work as a mediator between the two neighbors and to determine exactly where the property line ends.
She's piling this stuff up against all this, though.
Okay, do you agree?
Nothing was touching there.
You liar.
That's why I put this.
I have pictures.
We have pictures and videos.
And when they make the final call, the neighbor moves her a pile of junk and puts up the fence in a way that doesn't anchor on Chris's property.
She has generally left the snow fence alone where the cops told her she could put the stuff that was just over the edge of the property line.
Now, Chris and his family have an uneasy truce with their fence-loving neighbor, and he still holds out hope that they can have a reasonable relationship even after all the drama.
This experience has really taught me to listen to your neighbors and try and understand where they may be coming from. This situation has also made me realize that we need to buy a big farm one day with no neighbors anywhere in sight.
You liar. We have pictures and videos.
Living miles apart from each other, the only thing the residents of North Plains, Oregon prize more than the scenery is their peace and quiet. These men testing out their new powered parachutes find out the hard way what happens when they mess with the sound of silence.
There was somebody right over my property. So that you can have some fun. You're gonna endanger. You don't even live here.
Unregulated by the FAA, these operators are still responsible for knowing the rules of the sky, including no trespassing in their neighbor's airspace.
You own property out here? What gives you the right? I just want to know, what gives you the right?
We're just flying. We're just flying.
Oh my God, we're just flying. Let me just come ride my horse in your backyard. How would you feel about that?
Her usual serenity destroyed, the buzzing engines are on her very last nerve.
How about if I come in the back of your yard? Would you like that?
This isn't the first time residents in this area have tangled with joyriders invading their atmosphere.
Go to the airport and yell at all the pilots.
They have filed permission with FAA and they don't fly over my property.
You cannot say nothing to that guy flying out there.
He's flying right over my property right now. He's not allowed to without a runway. I know the rules.
Let this be a lesson to all powered parachute pilots. That one open field might be in the middle of nowhere, but somewhere there are neighbors who like it that way. Henry Grau is a computer support advisor who sees his neighbors more than most since he works from home.
The apartment complex that I live in here is in downtown Fort Lauderdale. I've lived here for about 5 years, and I know my neighbors pretty well.
Henry's apartment is next to the common courtyard on the left, so he and his security cameras see more activity than other apartments set further back.
In October of 2019, we got 2 gentlemen that moved into the middle apartment right next door.
For the first few months, Henry's relationship with his neighbors goes well. Until the night of December 17th.
I'm sitting at home one evening and I'm noticing some activity outside in the security camera. There's no other way to describe it in any cleaner form, but it looked like he was kind of playing with himself in a way. It made me very uneasy. I felt kind of like I didn't have any privacy all of a sudden. He just totally took away my freedom at that point because I kept having to go check the windows.
For 6 nights after the incident, things are quiet. Until December 23rd at 7 p.m. when things escalate.
I thought, I wonder what's going on out there.
The neighbor is working in the courtyard garden right outside Henry's window. This time, Henry confronts them.
I went outside and I'm like, hey, thank you very much, but if you could just leave it alone. It's kind of creeping me out when there's somebody out here at all hours of the night. I came back inside, I noticed he was still out there. And I said, wow, this guy's not gonna stop. If it takes for you to leave my window alone by pulling out every last plant, I'll pull them out.
Henry decides the only way to keep his neighbors out of his garden is to have no garden at all.
You know what? Get out of here! Gary, do it! I asked you to leave it alone! I asked you to leave it alone! What is your problem? Look at this!
After that, our relationship was started to deteriorate in a way that was quite shocking.
The more Henry tries to avoid both neighbors, the more they continue to harass him, including pounding his windows at random times throughout the day.
Once they started getting aggressive where they were banging at that point, I felt, okay, we gotta call the police.
Breaking and entering!
But it's the middle of the pandemic. The police are not readily available, and Henry's 2 neighbors are getting more and more aggressive.
It's scary as heck because we didn't have any help. It got to the point that I was actually afraid to stay here at night.
Now feeling trapped in his own home, Henry fears the rising tension with his neighbors can lead to a serious altercation. Or something much worse.
Why did you doing that?
And spilling blood.
It got worse to the point that I was actually afraid to stay here at night. Having to have these cameras running 24/7, going back to the footage of the cameras.
Get away from his property. Get away from his property.
By spring, it looks like Henry's luck is changing.
We noticed that they started to pack up their things and leave. We were really excited. I was sitting here texting the neighbors, hey, guess who's moving out?
But Henry may have begun celebrating too soon.
It took them probably a couple of days to move out, and then on their very last day, You can see them cutting the cable from one of the corners of the cameras. You see them throwing paint glass bottles at the door.
With the neighbors gone, Henry could finally let his guard down.
After they finally moved out, then I started to feel a little bit more at ease. So I said, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take down the camera system. We left the one camera facing the courtyard. After I got everything down and felt everything was safe, the older gentleman showed up again one night. He started banging on the windows again. He actually broke it, cut his hand so bad that he was dripping blood. He comes over to the door and he starts putting all his blood on the door. From that point forward, after that night, pulled the cameras back out, put them back up, and I've kept them there pretty much to this day. As you can see, they're still running.
And Henry has a message for his old neighbors if they should ever return.
I want them to know that I'm watching. The neighbors know what they look like. The police has a trespass warning on you. We're not going to allow anyone to come and terrorize us again.
I'm the one banging on your window. Why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep doing that?
Malvern, Arkansas is a small, friendly town. And when 37-year-old Serena Saylor moves into the area to be closer to family, she decides it will be a good place to put down roots, so she buys a 2-bedroom home.
I'm living in this really peaceful neighborhood. My house is incredibly special to me, especially having grown up very low income, to be able to get to the point where I was able to buy a home on my own. That's my cat.
After 5 happy years, a neighbor moves in.
All I'm really noticing is that he's home all the time. If I was to describe him, I'd say he's just a really rough-looking average Joe. He had a buzz cut. The only thing dividing property was a fence line that belonged to the neighbor. I mean, I would see him in his backyard and he would see me in mine, but I'm a fairly private person. Up until everything started getting weird, I don't even know if I said more than 2 words to this guy.
However, one day Serena sees something strange in her backyard, and from that day on, she starts making videos and sharing them online for support.
So I'm a little concerned right now. In fact, I'm shaking. I looked out my window and I see this and I'm I couldn't believe it. Put up this fence, he cut the wire and put this other one in that has access to my yard. Why? I'm legitimately scared. Why did he do this?
Serena is not exactly sure where her property line is, as she doesn't have her own fence. However, she decides not to confront the new neighbor, as she's worried how he may react. But soon things get even more creepy.
I haven't been outside since I recorded that video hours ago. I did hear the neighbor outside earlier. I did not look outside. And gate's wide open. A roll of toilet paper. What? I'm documenting this gate being open. I'm closing it, and I'm going to see if I have a lock.
With the gate being open, with that toilet paper roll there, I knew he must have come onto my property.
This was definitely very purposely opened, because that did not just magically fall open. I do happen to have a lock, so here we go.
I'm trying not to overreact, but at the same time, I am concerned.
With the gate locked, Serena feels more secure. But later that night, she becomes aware of something outside on her back porch, and the only way onto her porch is through her backyard.
I don't keep my porch lights on. There's no other lights on in the house. I'm in my room and all of a sudden I hear my wind chimes. It was not a windy night, breezy, nothing. They're very deliberately being rung, which scares me. My heart starts pounding, because I just don't know what is going on or what to expect.
Serena goes to the door terrified of what may be outside.
All those thoughts go through my head of I could be opening this to someone with a knife, a gun. I don't know what I'm opening this up to.
So she grabs her gun for safety and goes to the door, gripped with fear.
What are you doing on my porch?
Get off my porch.
Really?
Get off my porch.
You opened the gate onto my property.
It's my gate. You put a lock on it.
My property goes to your fence line. I'm not gonna shoot you. Get off my property right now. Get off my property. Get off my property right now. You look like you already did. Stay off my property.
I did feel good about the fact that I could get him off my property and that he left, but it was very short-lived because I knew this fight wasn't over.
In the next few weeks, Serena's neighbor continues to trespass on her property.
Will you please get off my property? You're not supposed to be over here. Don't ever come on my property again.
Serena installs an 8-foot-high fence so her neighbor can't invade or even see into her backyard.
I have a fence.
But there's a gap in the fence between their properties that her neighbor is exploiting.
My crazy neighbor was coming through that gap, and that's how he was accessing my backyard so easily still.
Why are you on my property? Please get off my property. You've already had an official warning from the police.
So I put up a barrier to protect that. He kicked over that barrier.
Serena is terrified as her neighbor is carrying a stick.
That's when I called the police and he got an actual trespass charge. And the next night, he kicked in my front door in the middle of the night.
This time, the neighbor goes round the front of the house and kicks Serena's front door until it's damaged. Serena is sleeping, so she doesn't record the vandalism and only wakes up to see him running away. However, her mother, who is staying with Serena to make her daughter feel safer, films the aftermath.
There's no way to even lock it now?
No.
Oh, great.
That was probably the scariest thing. 2:40 in the morning, and all of a sudden you just hear this shattering sound.
After this incident, the neighbor is arrested and charged with criminal mischief and assault. He's currently awaiting trial. Serena takes out a restraining order against her neighbor, so she's more confident he will not trespass again.
My neighbor apparently thought that I would make an easy victim and an easy target, but he definitely chose incorrectly.
And to make doubly sure, she fixes the gaps in the fence.
I am a badass woman. I'm not gonna lose what I have worked for so many years to someone like him.
There's trouble brewing in this quiet neighborhood in Austin, Texas. This woman got out of her car and into an altercation with one of the neighbors. This man tried to intervene. Now she's on his lawn and won't leave. And things are about to get slippery.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Go home, girl.
And clearly, she doesn't want to go anywhere.
Oh my God.
You're gonna lose that battle.
Okay, now I think maybe we should call somebody.
Is it 911? Do you want me to call? Yeah.
Please get off my property. I will defend myself on my property. Get off.
Oh my God, maybe we should call.
When police arrived on the scene, no charges were filed. And the soaking wet woman finally left the neighborhood. One of the biggest causes of neighborhood fights is blocking someone's driveway.
No, I didn't. I was in park.
And in Dallas, Texas, a local plumbing contractor who was in the neighborhood to install a drainage system can't find street parking. So he temporarily puts his excavator in a neighbor's driveway without her permission. She backs straight into it, so he starts filming.
This lady had just came outside and backed right up into the tractor because she knew it was right there.
I gotta go to a doctor's appointment.
We're gonna move. Give me a second. Don't spit in my face. Okay, back up. Okay, ma'am, we're gonna move it. Can you give me 2 seconds? Can you give me 2 seconds?
While the plumber is trying to calm things down, blocking someone's driveway in Texas is illegal and annoying.
Get on that thing and move it.
Okay, but you backed up into it on purpose.
Because it's on my property and I told you to move it.
So you just said that you backed up into it on purpose?
No, I did not say
Yes,
that.
you did.
Why'd she back into it?
She did it on purpose.
Finally, the audacious contractor moves his vehicle and the woman leaves for her appointment. But now she's made an enemy of this neighborhood plumber. So let's hope she doesn't have a blocked toilet or leaky pipe anytime soon. Deptford is a quiet suburb in New Jersey, and where George Nagus, the man driving the car in this video, believes would be a perfect place to settle down and raise a family. Even the fake blue palm trees in his next-door neighbor's yard don't put him off spending his entire savings on his first house. However, after he moves in, a dispute with the same neighbor over the property boundary threatens to derail his new life.
Don't come over my side anymore.
Where that post is my property line?
No, your
Just step back.
Your property line is back there.
You don't know where the property line is? You do it again. I had a surveyor on here. You can try to take me all you want. I really don't care.
Where is your surveyor?
Don't worry about it.
Show me the markers.
I have to show you. I have to show you.
The neighbor is claiming the fence line is inaccurate, and the caution tape is the actual property line.
It's my post.
You don't know who you're with.
Okay, coward.
Well, come on over and meet me in the street if I'm a coward, punk. Meet me in the street. Let's go.
You see your...
Let's go.
You
and
see...
me, let's go, punk.
You see your fence?
You call me a coward? Let's go.
You see your fence? Don't come on... Don't call...
Come over there right now.
Now you're trespassing.
I'll come right on my...
Now you're trespassing. Boom.
Property right here.
You're
right
trespassing.
Here's my property line. Right here. Come on. Call the cops if I'm trespassing.
And in fact, in the past 2 years, George has called the police at least 6 times.
Okay. Who jumped over
this
whose
is my
fence?
Property, dude. I'm a little bitch.
Keep acting like that.
Who can argue with the neighbor who invents his own property line dance? Definitely not George. He can barely contain his laughter.
You ain't gonna move me at all. I'll stay right here all day.
You stay there. I got all day too.
Okay, good.
In no mood to back down, the neighbor starts hammering in post where he thinks the boundary should be.
Bash you.
Now you're threatening me.
That's your head right there. See it going in brown?
Now you're threatening me. That will be showed to the prosecutor.
Oh, you just shut up.
While most disputes are settled on the local township level, this one goes to court.
That post will be ripped out.
Okay, show your ass.
Turns out that George owns more than he thinks, and the neighbor is forced to move his fence 3 feet back. The judge issues a no-contact order to prevent any further harassment.
Threatening.
See you later, girlfriend.
This truce holds for a while. But recently, the neighbor is seen recklessly firing a BB gun in his yard, and George reports him to the cops. They don't press charges, but this local war rages on.
I'm a little bitch.